Mic check 1 2 1 2. We live, people. What's good? What's up? How's everyone's Friday going? Okay, let me share on Twitter so I do this quick. Share. Bam. Just getting started. What's good? What's good? Share it on Twitter. What's up, everybody? How's everyone's day going? Night going? Yeah, today we will be talking about the big three, or my big three. And I gotta adjust because I got a camera up here. Today we're streaming off this camera, just testing the waters and whatnot. And a couple of announcements, because this stream is primarily for My Hero Academia. I'm going to be talking about the latest 7 chapters, including the latest 225, the war that's brewing. I'm going to skip out on talking about the stuff that I caught up on for a separate video, because I got a lot to say on that adventure that it was. So we'll do it that way. Let's see, hold on, I'm just trying to think. Then for One Piece, we'll talk about the latest chapter. It was 940, I believe. Talk about everything that went down in that one. And then lastly, Black Clover 202. We'll be talking about that as well. Yeah, I haven't read the latest Boruto, but that color page, though, oh my gosh. Definitely you'll have reviews on that and the latest Dragon Ball Super in the near future. And also an announcement for this Fornever Friday. Starting next week, I'm going to experiment, because we've been doing this. We did 4 of them so far. The next Fornever Friday, I'm going to focus on just doing like topical stuff, and I'm going to give you guys the reviews. What I'm going to attempt to do is get up early on Friday, bang out all my reviews, record them, and then upload them throughout Friday, leading up to the live stream of, Fornever Fridays. And we'll talk about some topics, some different discussions, maybe some of the things you recommend, or some news articles, things that happened. And I'll have the reviews before then of Black Clover, One Piece, and My Hero Academia, because it kind of, today it overwhelmed me a little bit. The big three is out. On top of that, Boruto's out. On top of that, Dragon Ball Super is out. So I'm like, yo, there's so much to talk about. I can't cover all of that in a proper manner on a stream. That'll be like 3 or 4 hours. I'm not adapt to doing those long streams yet. Maybe we get there at some given point. So I don't want in the future for this problem to occur. I'm going to try and do it that way, and we'll see what's up. That way, in case there's new chapters and stuff like that, this will just be primarily maybe discussion. So I want to attempt to do it that way. Also, it'll be a little bit more welcoming for people to come to the stream that aren't just here for a chapter, or that they're caught up on. So a lot of people aren't caught up on all this stuff, and they don't want to get spoiled. So we might start doing it that way starting next week. Thank you, Sunny Shaw, for the donation. Appreciate you, bro. Yeah, so, and also, honestly, I've been loving going back to my roots, and one of my roots was back in the day. I got up dead early and talked about Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach. I want to try and do that again. I want to give myself, it also gives me a little bit more structure. Honestly, the more I get back into doing this, the thing that I love, talking on camera about anime, manga with you guys, and doing it how I used to, and blending it with what my life is now, the better things have become for me just personally. So that's why I'm attempting to do that. And we're going to see if it works. If not, maybe we go back. We just having fun with it. Thank you, NBRS Dipper, for both of the, I can't talk today, both of your donations. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you, everybody in the chat, by the way, everybody coming through. I know this stream, see, it's a little less inviting than like the last streams when we had like topics. And it's kind of like affirming that maybe I should just try and experiment a little bit with the streams, where we'll still talk about, maybe we'll just have a topic of like, what was the best chapter of the week? You know what I mean? And you guys will have my thoughts already on each of the chapters before the stream. It's a win-win. You guys still get the reviews. We'll still talk live, and we'll have a lot of people coming through, or more people, hopefully. That's the idea. Again, it's all an experiment. Honestly, Fornever Fridays, for me, has been an experiment on how I adjust to this new day and age of streaming being a big thing. So it's been growth for me, and I guess for the channel, and a different direction. I've been also, one thing I want to touch up on is, I've been very kind of silent on the Vic situation. A lot of things have occurred, and to be honest with you, I'm kind of in the midst right now of really deciding how I want to moving forward, even deal with that, because I can't just, I've already stepped in and said my piece, and it's not like I'm backing down from my point, but I do feel as though certain people and fans and stuff like that, they feel like the more I talk about it, the more painful it is, because these are people that they've looked up to. So that's something I've been keeping in mind and keeping in my heart, of like, I don't want to make anybody else's day worse of hearing like, this voice actor did that, that voice actor did that. So that's why I've also been kind of just staying away from it in general. I feel as though the situation is so bad. There's so much horrible stuff with every party, that, between the nasty wars on Twitter and, Vic losing out on everything. It's just a shame. So that's why I really have been, not that I'm backing down or stepping away, but I've been a little bit less covering it, just because a lot of people cover it anyway. And I just feel as though it's just really a heartbreaking situation. You know what I'm saying? So for those that have been wondering about that, yeah. Okay. With that being said, let's jump into something that I'm really excited to talk about. My Hero Academia's manga. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'll be honest with y'all, I had one hell of an adventure catching up, because it's so crazy how mixed I am on what I was feeling toward, I guess, the manga in general for a bit while I was catching up, to how I feel now with the last 7 chapters, probably a bit more than the last 7 chapters. I'm gonna be honest with you, because I've enjoyed some stuff. And again, with this discussion, I'm mainly going to be talking about the latest 7 chapters from, I believe it's 218 to 225 of My Hero Academia. Wow. Yo, the war against the villains, I think it's an incredible display on how well My Hero Academia works when you go to the villain side. I think a lot of people could agree with me that My Hero Academia, when it's on the hero side, unless it's with the big 3 characters of the hero side, Bakugo, Todoroki, and Deku, My Hero Academia starts to feel a little stale when you start relying on like the other characters for complete chapters. Like 3 or 4 chapters back to back, focusing on Jiro. Not that they've done that in particular, but something like that would be a catastrophe, because it would get stale, because those aren't the characters that we're very highly invested in. Sure, we love Class A, and yeah, you can appreciate each and every one of them because they're nice. Their quirks are all crazy. Holy cow! Heart piece for you. I appreciate the donation, brother. Thank you. Go Beyond Plus Ultra. Yo, My Hero Academia. Yeah, it's been crazy. And hold on one second. I'm sorry. I'm clicking on the wrong buttons. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I love it when people say plus ultra for some reason. I'm still not over it. I know a lot of people say it all the time and it's a meme, but yeah, I'm not over it. My Hero Academia, back to where we was going. Thanks again, brother. It seems as though, hold on, I lost my train of thought. You see? Okay, let me just go quickly. More or less anyway. My Hero Academia, it works so much better as a narrative when we're on the villain side, because again, it feels as though some of the other heroes in Class A, or just in the class in general, don't really hold up the story to a very interesting point. And again, this is where I'm starting to dive into the arc that I didn't really care for, the Class A versus Class B, and I'm going to go in depth with that and why I feel that potentially could be the worst arc in the entire series because of what it's done. And there's a simple thing that really I had a problem with, and again, I'll address it in a different video. But with this arc, once it goes to the villains, it seems as though almost all of them, and maybe it's because, who knows, maybe personally or in terms of the narrative and the way the story is being pushed, it seems as though most of the villains can keep my attention. When Toga's on the screen, like the latest chapter 225, I am on board. I am like, Toga for the win. This is interesting. Likewise with Dabi, likewise with Shigaraki, likewise with even the Zod-looking creature, because these last 7 chapters, I ain't gonna lie, it's been incredible. It's been incredible. My Hero Academia, for me, I ain't gonna lie, it went from up until that point, the last arc before then, I was like, yo, I might actually consider dropping this. That's how I was feeling with certain parts of the prior arc. I get into this arc and I'm like, oh my gosh, thank God I didn't make a video like that yet. Thank goodness I had a chance to actually get a bit more context and stuff like that, because that would have been a rushed and terrible decision, because My Hero Academia has picked up dramatically with this arc. And I love the way Horikoshi writes a narrative for the villains in terms of like, I really feel like this is an interesting twist, because it's seeing the exact same circumstances that a shonen protagonist would go through, being weak. You know, when Shigaraki started, he was trash. Okay, he was garbage. He couldn't, you know what I'm saying? He couldn't do much. I mean, yeah, with his bamboozled attack, he might have gotten in on All Might, but he had no purpose. He had no structure. He to this day, he still doesn't really roll like a boss. We see the League of Villains. They are living, they're on broke boy status. How are y'all some highly known criminals? You know what I'm saying? At least in your country, your region, your monsters, but y'all living in like an abandoned building. So it shows again that Shigaraki just has so much growth to do, but it also shows a bit of the growth that he has. In the beginning, Shigaraki didn't really care about having a purpose. Now Shigaraki does. Now Shigaraki actually is trying to find an understanding of himself. He's trying to find purpose, similar to what you would get in the development of a shonen protagonist. And that's where My Hero Academia has really switched and turned into its own lane. Because remember, in the beginning of My Hero, likewise with the beginning of Black Clover, it felt as though they were kind of very similar to its predecessors like Naruto and stuff like that. My Hero Academia has now shown, no, how we do our own thing. Thank you, IMT Gold, brother. Thank you. That is awesome. Thanks for the donation. I appreciate you, brother. One time for the one time. Anime and manga for life, boy. Wow. Have an awesome day. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. I'm just amazed at the kindness that a lot of you people be having. Like, you know, that's generosity and shit like that. Really, it blows my mind, because sometimes, especially, and this is just slightly off topic, when you live in a dark world that I feel sometimes we live in, and you see a little bit of light where people are like, yo, people genuinely, if they rock with you and they see that you genuine, they'll do things that you just don't expect. And it really makes me feel good inside. Not the money part of it, just the fact that people are willing to do things like that in this day and age, when we have such a world where people are just out for themselves. I really appreciate that. Again, it's not about the money. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate that. It's the sentiment of like, wow, you rock with me like that. I appreciate you. Thank you. It means the world to me, because it's what I do this. You know, I used to do this for Tim, me. I used to do this for Tim. Now I do this for Morgiana. You know what I'm saying? And my family. Times have changed, and I appreciate all of you. But back to the My Hero Academia discussion. Yeah, you know, the villain side just is way more interesting. You know what I mean? We got the villains like, okay, let's go to something that I really want to talk about, because I know I kind of just strayed away from my original discussion, but something that I wanted to really go into. It is, to me, clear as day that the inspiration behind, well, for me, I saw it, a couple other people seeing different inspirations of it. For me, this creature that I guess Shigaraki is trying to get to bow down to him, that was passed on. He was originally the bodyguard for All for One. This creature reminds me of like Zod from Berserk. That's what I got from it. A couple other people, I saw a couple other ones. I can't remember what they said, but I was like, man, that was a good one as well. But for me, I got Berserk, Zod, all the way. That was what I got. I was like, holy cow. And when you're getting inspiration from Berserk, you're onto something. And the fact that Shigaraki has to prove himself, and he's been actually going through it, this is the progress that you get of a shonen main character being applied to the villain side. Seeing the villains, honestly, when My Hero Academia started, one of the problems that I had with it, and in retrospect, I'm glad that it was the way it was that the villains felt like trash. I honestly always felt like Shigaraki is just so weak. How do we have, what threats do we have? That's why when All for One came along, we were all shocked. Like, finally, somebody that All Might even has a problem with. Because Shigaraki and them were jokes. They were jokes. You know what I mean? So, seeing the same methods applying that you would get for like a Deku, or for like a Bakugo, which Bakugo, man, his development. And I'm going to cover Bakugo's development more in the other video, because I was mainly in the Class A, B training arc shit. But, man, Bakugo's grown a lot. Todoroki grew earlier than most of them, and he's still growing, but man. And by the way, what's been going on with the Endeavor family? That was one hell of a saga. I ain't gonna lie. I was really hyped into all of that. So I'm curious to see more of those things. But getting back into this Zod-like creature, I ain't gonna lie, the art, you could tell Horikoshi loved that. The art on every scene with that monster, they're gonna probably have to do a CGI in the anime. I bet it's not gonna look good in the anime. I'm just calling it right now, because in order to animate that, it's gonna be a monstrosity. That's gonna be a CGI monster. I'm calling it now. My Hero Academia fans, get ready to be disappointed. The anime is not gonna be able to pull off what is his name? Hold on, I want to get it right. Gigantomachia. Anime and pulling Gigantomachia right. I'm calling that right now, because Gigantomachia, huh, monster. Absolute monster, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Absolute monster. I say it again because, yo, when Shigaraki finally gets to the point of like, yo, okay, he masters this guy, it's again going to be like a shonen power up, like you would get for the heroes. Now Shigaraki, once he trains enough to get to that point, we're also getting a training arc. We're getting a training arc for a villain. On top of that, seeing what his power up is going to be, essentially having this bodyguard. Once he's able to get to that point that he respects him, once he uses him to use his battle against his big Joker villain organization, which we're going to talk about that in a second as well, then he's a problem. Now the hero organization are going to struggle, because that monster was the same monster that All For One had. And All For One was a monster in and of himself. So if he left him behind, it's because, again, he believes in Shigaraki, which Shigaraki, I mean, it's clear as day that All For One did all of that. It's clear as day that Shigaraki doesn't really remember stuff because of the influence that All For One had. That's clear as day that Shigaraki is like blind to it. More than likely, it was All For One that killed him, because he's seen that he had that quirk already. I doubt that it was. If Shigaraki did kill all of them on accident, that'd be dark, and I'd love it. I don't see it being that way. I see that it's going to give Shigaraki a way out, and it's starting to look more and more like, which a lot of manga are really, really inspired by this, that same mold that Naruto didn't start it. So please don't say, oh, he's saying Naruto started this. No, Naruto didn't start it, but I just seen it in Naruto so much that I'm like, okay, this is where I remember it from. That same thing of the Obito, Madara, Kaguya situation. Black Clover's gone through it just now. It seems as though My Hero Academia is going through it with Shigaraki being the Obito, but maybe he could be done the best way possible. Obito, All For One being Madara, and a higher force than that is going to be what started all this, maybe. I hope it's just All For One. Let's cut off the Kaguya situation and let it be Shigaraki, All For One, because it's clear that eventually that's going to be the path. I hope not. I hope Horikoshi decides, you know what? Let's take it a different route. Let's not do that. But I just see there's so much Naruto influence in today's Shonen Jump manga that more than likely that's what it is. And Black Clover just did it, and Black Clover did it better than Naruto. And My Hero Academia's writing has shown that when Horikoshi really wants to flex his pen game, he can make a plot twist better than something as well. So My Hero Academia has the potential to do it even better than Black Clover did it. And that's great, because that's showing that they're taking old ideas and using them and making a new twist to them. So hopefully, if that's the case, and there's an Madara, Obito, and even a Kaguya situation, if Horikoshi can do it right, I won't be mad at it. And again, I'm not saying that Naruto started it. I want to repeat that, because don't say that I'm saying Naruto started that shit. No. Okay, so we talked about Gigantomachia. Let's see. Let's talk a little bit about Toga. I'm not gonna lie, because 225 was the latest chapter. Let's talk a little bit about Toga. And wow, I love Toga. I ain't gonna lie. Toga, like, a lot of people are on the Momo hype train, but Toga, baby, Toga. Oh, yo, it's crazy. Nah, on some real, I love her character, and just that's why the name of the stream is Normalcy this week, because the lesson behind it is what I really just enjoyed. The lesson behind it of what exactly is normalcy. Because Toga feels like what she's living right now is normalcy. So it also makes you question, I guess, in terms of the narrative of what made Toga feel like being a psychotic person is normal. Were her parents abusing of her? Was she exposed to bad things? Like, what is it that made her feel like that is normalcy, unless she's just absolutely crazy and something happened? But then again, reports say up until 17, she was a sweet girl. So a lot of interesting stuff when you go into Toga. Like, okay, what made her snap? Or was it that all along she was putting up a front and she felt like this? What is normalcy? Normalcy, honestly, it goes back to just the amount of number. If there's 10 people alive on planet Earth and 9 of those people say that running around with grass on their head screaming for 10 hours a day is normal, that is what's normal. So that is a very interesting and powerful message there with Toga's character that Horikoshi is displaying, that normalcy is just really depending on what someone's viewpoint is or perspective. Very, very, very powerful stuff. I love when authors can sneak that in. It's snuck in behind all the cool anime funny, oh, I love that character, she's so awesome stuff, a powerful message. And that's always what I'm nowadays seeking when I'm reading a manga. If a manga like chapter doesn't have a message for me, I get sometimes let down. Yeah, you can have all the cool fights in the world, but if there's no substance behind it, the author isn't saying anything, then I'm kind of like, okay. So very appreciative of the message behind Toga's character and what we got displayed in chapter 225 of My Hero. But this entire arc already has been extraordinary in showing a lot of these characters. Let's take one thing that I noticed personally and a commonality between the villains. Shigaraki, no family. Toga, great family, apparently, according to things, or a normal family, right? Average family. Dabi, assuming that he's related to Endeavor, and that's that son, hero family. Seems as though these are all collectives of different backgrounds, and that's also probably why they flow so well as a chemistry, opposed to like My Hero Academia, where aside from the 3 or 4 characters like that we really rock with, and you know, people will say 5. I'll say honestly, for me, it's about 4. There's about 4 characters that no matter what, when they're on screen, they usually got my attention. Of course, the big 3, and probably I would even argue Mineta, because he's just so damn funny. By the way, thank you to all new viewers coming through. This is for the time being, the last Fornever Fridays that we'll be covering the chapters. Starting next week, I'm going to just try and give you give you guys the reviews before the stream. So maybe Friday afternoon, maybe 12 o'clock, you get, My Hero. 2:30, you'll get One Piece, and then like 4:30, 5 o'clock, you'll get if I said a Black Clover or whatever. Anyway, y'all get the drift. Y'all get those, and then we'll have the stream at 7 talking about topics, possibly what's the best chapter, the latest news and stuff like that. So we're gonna switch it up for next week, see how that goes. But for this week, we're covering right now, we're still in the midst of My Hero Academia, the latest 7 chapters, what's been going down. I'm going to talk about the other chapters that I caught up on in a separate video, the Class A versus Class B exam. But for now, we are talking about the latest villain war that we have in My Hero Academia. And leading into that, let's talk now about the Joker-looking dude, Destro, that his father was Destro, seemingly, and he's carrying that name. The dude, to me, seems like the ultimate training device for Shigaraki. I don't see this guy being a high player in this game at all. Honestly, even from the way the guy that's captured, which Jiren is his name, Jiren or Giren, whatever. The way he spoke of, like, if the Nomu come, you're done. I think this guy has a good bluff. Maybe he has all these warriors, but they're not even all that strong if you put on somebody like Gigantomachia. Gigantomachia is going to be what helps basically give the final push of training for Shigaraki to have him listen. Basically, in my eyes, Gigantomachia is a mixture of like what you would get from Berserk with Zod, that incredible design and kind of that having a master type of thing, but also like a Charizard that like, bro, I ain't listening to you. You know, Charizard did Ash Ketchum or Ash Ketchum, Ash Ketchum in Pokemon, the Indigo League, where that's why he lost, something like that. But maybe it's switching it around, and that's what's going to, the end of this whole fight with Destro is what's going to lead Gigantomachia to following Shigaraki's orders. And this is ultimately a training arc for Shigaraki right now. And that's one of the things that is crazy. My Hero Academia, again, for me, more interesting times 1,000 for the villains than the heroes. I think because we've gotten plenty of exposition on the heroes. And again, when we go into training arcs, that's all we get. So the fact that we're getting a training arc for the villains, it breaks the mold. And all of these guys, again, are really interesting and exciting. And that's what I love about My Hero Academia, that it really, I'm starting to notice, it really characterizes incredible villains. The heroes, I love a lot of them, but there's too many. And that's just a whole other separate opinion of mine. I feel as though there's just too many characters that are written in for me to care about all of them. I care about a few of them. The villains, though, the few bunch that we have, because I've seen them when they were absolutely broke down, and to where Shigaraki and them are today, I rock with them heavy. It's kind of like, it reminds me, it gives me the same feel, and I don't know how many people will relate. Sonic Adventure 2, if I'm not mistaken, Sonic Adventure 2, that was you got to play as the heroes or the villains. And My Hero Academia kind of feels that way right now. It's Sonic Adventure 2. Maybe that should be the name of the stream, Sonic Adventure 2. I don't know. But yeah, so let me see what else I got to talk about, because I wrote down a few different things. We have, of course, that psychotic woman that is dying to get that interview from Toga, which again, it showcases that we're getting, you know how classic shonen used to just have 5 villains, and then the heroes, there'll be, or 4 villains, and there'll be 4 heroes, and then they would go through each obstacle where they'll lose a hero, lose a hero, lose a hero, until there's one-on-one. And it seems as though they're taking that approach with the 1v1s as a training to the villains again. Like, that's great. I don't know. I just really, really rock with that whole idea right now of how My Hero Academia is constructed. It just is a shame that we know eventually we're going to have to stop with the villains and go back to the heroes, which I'm not complaining. I'm not saying like the heroes are bland, but I guess it's maybe a sour taste in my mouth between everything of like the end of the Class A, Class B stuff with Deku. A lot of people hated it. I was kind of in the middle, more towards I like it, to be honest with you. I think it's kind of cool, but it was just, yeah, again, different video, different time. Okay, let's see what else. We got the Gigantomachia. You can see all kind of getting. One of the things is you could definitely see that I think all of the villains needed this right now, because they needed a kick in the ass, so to speak, in order to get them going. I think all of them, they needed this training arc. Shigaraki and all of them, they needed it to give them more purpose, because you could see in the beginning of it that they were jaded to everything. Like, yo, we broke. How are we broke doing this? What is going on? I don't even want to do this anymore. They're all questioning their purpose. So this is giving them purpose. Again, wrapping it all the way up with the last time I'm going to say it, great villain training arc. I love the way it's being done. The opposite. Okay. And with all that being said, My Hero Academia from chapters, I want to say 218 to 225 has been absolutely freaking incredible. This war that's brewing, which I don't know if it's much of a war, because I think once Gigantomachia shows up, it's a wrap. I think once he shows up, maybe Shigaraki and them are going to struggle. We're going to forget about Gigantomachia. In another month or two, we'll forget that, hey, he's in the wings. And then, bam, he'll come through or some shit like that. That's kind of what I'm guessing is going to happen. Or Shigaraki will jump on his head and ride through and kill just all of these 100,000 warriors, because Gigantomachia is a reason all for one left them behind. So we're going to take a little minute break. I'm going to chill talk with you guys, and then we'll go to Black Clover. No, we'll go to One Piece, and then we'll go to Black Clover. Save Black Clover for the end. But how's everyone's Friday going? What's going on? DBS and Boruto, I will be talking about those two in separate videos at a separate time. Thanks, King of Spirits. I appreciate you coming through. Oh, that's what's up. Congratulations, Corey Carter. I'm not caught up on The Promised Neverland. I just watched season 1 of the anime. I'm probably a good 40 chapters, 50 chapters behind on Promised Neverland at this point, to be honest with you. Maybe even more. I can't really remember, though. Okay, for the fairy tale people, don't worry. I'm going to calm y'all down now. I am eventually going to catch up on 100 Years Quest. I'm not really interested in the anime anymore, to be honest with you. I've kind of been more constricting myself down to watching anime that I'm mostly just really, really into. Wow. Yeah. I'm more so gonna approach it that way. So the fairy tale anime, I probably won't really cover it, to be honest with you, because I don't have time to watch that one. But the fairy tale 100 Years Quest manga, I plan on catching up to that. 7 Deadly Sins, that's gonna be along with Magi and Tokyo Ghoul on the. I'll just catch up and finish them, because isn't 7 Deadly Sins about to end right now? So it would kind of be pointless for me to catch up now at the very end. Like, now I will catch up once it's completed and do one video like that alongside with Tokyo Ghoul Magi. I've started on Tokyo Ghoul Re. I've started on finishing that one, so that'll come soon. So Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest will be coming. Some reviews of that. I'm thinking of possibly maybe starting off doing some streams of that with Eden Zero, but I'm not sure because I kind of want to, for right now, focus on what we started here with My Hero, Black Clover, One Piece, and then work my way towards the other ones. Again, I got the monthly stuff like Boruto, Dragon Ball Super, and Attack on Titan will be caught up as well. Oh yeah, and the Attack on Titan anime. One Punch Man, I kind of was lacking, to be honest with you. So if I don't give you guys a singular review for episode 2, I'll give you an episode 2 and episode 3 review together because I'm lacking on that one. That's the one. I'll be honest with you. I should have done that review. But let's go to One Piece. To be honest with you, I don't think that this will be a long video. There was quite a few things that happened. It was a pretty simplistic chapter, to be honest with you. Chapter 940 of One Piece. It was simplistic for the most part in the sense of it gave us context. I honestly, towards my second read, found it to be a little bit more enjoyable, just getting all of the details and whatnot. But to be honest with you, it wasn't anything out the park. Like, you know, it's in the building stage right now. I think the more hints we get towards Luffy's hockey is cool, that we get a little bit more of an example of it and things like that. But this chapter wasn't a wow factor, to be honest with you. And I know One Piece fans will be very, very upset by this, but it wasn't a big thing for me. It just was like, you know, I mean, I enjoyed it, but again, we'll talk about it. Chapter starts off with Law saying, "Don't forget you doubted my crew," which that right there is going to put a little dent in the trust that Law has and the relationship. The way they doubted him, or the way they doubted Beppo and them, Law is now looking at them a different way. The Straw Hats, I gotta lie, throw that little comedy in the beginning, which again is small details that I enjoyed about this one. Seeing the Straw Hats saying, if they lasted more than 5 minutes, they better than me. I was like, damn, the Straw Hats really they'd snitch, I guess. So that was kind of funny. Yo, can you stop with the fairy tale? I do not want to I'm gonna put you on timeout, fam. Please stop with the fairy tale, homie. I already addressed it. Please knock that off. Okay. So again, the alliance with Law is going to be shaky regarding this whole situation just because Law is pissed off now. And I mean, we already seen it. For us, we know Beppo and them ain't snitch. Beppo and them did not snitch. So it's kind of a questioning thing of like, okay, wait a minute. Law is going to be a little bit of an issue to bring back into the fold if he's pissed off at this point. If he's really like that, you doubted my crew. So that was I think that was setting up for something. I think that was setting up for maybe a little bit of an issue right there. I don't know. Or it could just be a little throw-in. Because again, this chapter, it felt like kind of not filler, but it was just small details. We got the Tonoyasu guy being extra nice, which honestly, it makes me suspicious. When somebody is extra nice like that he's giving money around town, he's letting these bandits live in his apartment, and then we get the context of those arsonists, it makes me think that possibly, again, Tonoyasu is also in on this. I think that Okiku girl, or the little girl that laughs all the time, Tonoyasu, and that woman, I think they all in on all of this. I think they're crooks as well. Because it just seems like, you know, anytime somebody's like that, bro, he's giving money away. He's like, hey, yeah, I'll fix your sink. Hey, how you doing? To everybody in town. It's probably to go along with the context that we got of these random arsonists that was thrown in there. So there's a little bit of a subplot for One Piece. And I'm like, hopefully it ties into everything, because I don't really, as of right now, Tonoyasu is like, okay, what's going on? So the Tonoyasu guy was like, you know, it filled up quite a few of the pages. I think it's going to be more important than just a subplot that leads nowhere. I think, again, if it ties up with everything, Zoro being with that woman, which, again, I have a lot of distrust. Maybe it could be that they're all going to work on the good side, but it's still, I don't know. I just feel as though, why would they bring up these arsonists and all that? And then Tonoyasu is right there, and they're all like, oh, he's just such a guy, a good guy. Who cares? Really, really, really weird. Okay. Anyway, we got the little bit of a detail that Haki is pronounced as Ryuo and Wano. So now whenever you hear the reference, which that's going to be like, holy shit, hopefully they all just start calling it hockey. It's going to be an interesting, I guess, little small detail. Again, this chapter, I don't know. I feel like as I'm talking about it, I'm showing you my kind of not distaste for it, but my disinterest in it, because it just felt like there wasn't anything really stellar. I think once we saw Luffy training in there and he's pounding down warriors, that's where it was kind of like a little bit more exciting. Like, okay, this is a training arc for Luffy, which I'm glad shonen manga are doing different things. Like we talked about in the My Hero Academia review, they're doing different things of how we're doing training arcs. So Luffy's training arc right now for, I'm imagining Gear 5th, I'm going to keep saying it's Gear 5th, is which of course I think that hockey ability is going to have to be infused somehow. The one that he's trying to learn that Rayleigh does, I think that's going to be incorporated inside of this new Gear 5th transformation. And again, we're just getting more training, and it seems as though everything is coming to a close with this training arc, though. That was a good thing with the end of the chapter that Big Mom is approaching. Maybe this whole training thing is going to be blown to the side real soon, especially that they came across an interesting plot, which is starting to look like it's Impel Down. Be honest with you, it's feeling like a Impel Down redone type of arc, this at the very least subplot with all these prisoners, because if everybody here is arrested for Orochi, then that means that they're all going to want to rebel and work together to get out of there. So Luffy freeing them, if he learns that hockey ability, he could possibly bust open all those doors. I mean, look, when he was like, yeah, I don't need these people listening right now, hold on a second, and use his hockey ability to knock everyone around, they're really strategizing. Doesn't this, in my opinion, and maybe this is the whole focus that I should be of this chapter, is that Luffy has developed as a character again. This training arc is showing his character development, where now he's strategizing. Luffy used to just kind of shoot off of, what they say, shoot off the hip, whatever. Anyway, you guys know what I'm saying. He would straight up just go in and do whatever. Now he's strategizing. Now he's like, okay, these guys can't hear what we're saying. Before, he would scream it out and then think about it later, like, oh snap. That's development for Luffy again. Small detail, but still very vital, because you need character development from time to time, especially if these characters are going to grow, thrive, and change. A lot of people, they'll say, hey, this character hasn't grown in all these years and stuff like that. And Oda's trying to say, no, they have. Let me show you. Okay. And the fact that, going back to the Tonoyasu guy real quick, the fact that they look at him as a Buddha, all the more reason to make me feel, if his daughter is caught in there, now that I remember it was his daughter, that little laughing girl, if his daughter is caught in there, it just, something doesn't seem right. Either Tonoyasu or the woman, is either that they're really, really good people and they're really working in cahoots with the Alliance and they want to go back with Momo and them, or they're up to something themselves. Because Tonoyasu, the fact that they look at him as Buddha, how much brainwashing has he done with all the good deeds? Okay, let's see what else. Caribou thing, I mean, it makes sense or whatever, but the fact that Raizo is in Caribou and he showed up or whatever is interesting. Caribou, he plays one of the parts that I always like, that One Piece has those Buggy-esque characters. I call them Buggy-esque characters because they remind me of Buggy. They're great comedy relief, and One Piece likes to have a comedy relief character during all these situations, because especially now we need those in New World to keep it kind of still feeling like One Piece. We need those funny characters that, like, oh shoot, what's his name? Caesar Clown and Buggy and people like that. So I'm imagining that's why he was kind of brought into the fold or whatever, a character that also Straw Hats can kind of treat like shit. As of right now, he thinks Luffy is smarter than he actually is, which that shows still the parts that Luffy doesn't grow, where Luffy's like, oh, okay, you changed? Okay, you can rock with us, cool. So it still shows Luffy has growing to do, which this chapter kind of demonstrates. He's grown, still needs to grow more in other areas. Not a problem, honestly. Showcases again Luffy's development. I think this chapter overall, Luffy, it's a very good chapter for Luffy. It just really feels like it shows the character well-rounded. But you're on it. And there we go. Anyways. Thank you, King Reaction. Another one. Anyway, back to it. Let's see. I guess it also kind of shows Luffy's growth as well with his haki, his abilities as well, because Luffy back, in the beginning of this, I don't know if he was just immediately, was he? Well, no, when he first walked up in Fishman Island, now that I think about it, he was capable of just knocking all the fishmen down with the King's Haki and all that stuff. So that's not anything new, I guess, per se. Now, we haven't done Black Clover yet. We're at One Piece right now. We did My Hero. We're on One Piece right now. Black Clover's next. Okay, and for the most part, aside from Kawamatsu, which my era, I've been making a couple of errors because catching up with everything's kind of been confusing me or whatever. Kawamatsu is actually the guy that's stuck in there. And it seems as though there's something very, like, why didn't they immediately free Kawamatsu? And Kawamatsu kind of seems like an asshole. So it's going to be interesting to see what type of character he is, because we already got Raizo that plays that particular character, like that character art type of, well, what does Raizo play? I don't know. He kind of reminded me of Jiraiya to begin with when he showed up. And, of course, the last page of the chapter, Big Mom approaching. She's in the Udon, the Udon's desert, and she's approaching there. Again, it all seems like it's coming to a halt. Once she shows up, Big Mom, and there's what she asked for, what she was promised is not there. She's going to go on a rampage again, and we're either going to get the real Big Mom, Kaido maybe show up, the real Big Mom. So it seems as though we're at a very big downtime of training, but once it gets back, it's probably going to get hype, and it's probably going to get real. I'm curious if we're going to get like an Alabasta type of thing. And what I mean by an Alabasta type of thing, are we going to get Luffy fighting Kaido again and taking an L? Remember Luffy, he fought Crocodile 3 times, right? He fought him twice. He fought him first time, lost. What was it? The second time I think he lost again, and then the third time he got him. I think we could have something like that, because right now Luffy, even if he learns that technique, is he going to have the time to master it? No. So maybe he'll learn the technique, try it against Kaido, give Kaido a hurting hit, and then we're going to go back into another, not training, but kind of dialogue heavy and prepping the arc to go to the final battle. Maybe it'll be something like that. Kind of just a prediction there, but Luffy definitely, it will kind of be a little bit like if Luffy catches the win on a very untrained haki ability. Y'all people really need to get lives, but go ahead. People that are spamming Fairy Tail, no matter how many times I block y'all, there's the attention you wanted. Anyways, back to it. So to wrap it up, honestly, I'd give this chapter, if I had to give it a score, 6.5 out of 10 probably. It was an okay chapter. Nothing too hoorah about, other than, I guess, Luffy's growth as a character. We got the introduction that Caribou and Raizo are there. They have the plan with Hyogoro, again, that's how you pronounce his name, which that was also a cool fact that Hyogoro was a very big deal with the Yakuza, which I'm imagining this was set up for. We're going to have a lot of Yakuza-inspired character designs. Thank you, Not Really Goku, LOL. I'm going to bother you till you give me a room tour. I know. It's going to take a while, to be honest with you. I really want to do my next room tour when I move again, because the way I have it right now structured, it like this looks cool, but then everything else is just like a normal like bedroom. So it's like a set. I'm on set right now, so to speak. So the room tour probably when I move again, honestly. And yeah, that was my One Piece review. Again, sorry, really short on this one, but I didn't really have too much to say other than there was some cool factors of we see some more setup, more training for Luffy, Luffy's growth, but Luffy also still needs to grow in areas, and we got the advancement of Big Mom. So that's even a 7 would be fine, a 7 out of 10 for this chapter. But honestly, I say 6.5. The biggest thing was Big Mom is approaching, which she's been approaching for a while. Let's kind of get there, Big Mom. But yeah, that's all for the One Piece chapter. Now it's time for Black Clover, baby. Oh, we'll take a little bit of a break, actually. We'll take like a minute break, and then we'll hop to it. Black Clover, baby. So everybody, tell me your excitement for the latest Black Clover chapter. I ain't gonna lie. Me, it was Wizard King. But what was, well, hints at the first Wizard King. But tell me what was some of the shit that y'all was most hyped for. The devil with the ass. I know. Nero, first Wizard King. Demon using the Grimoire, bro. He was so OP. Oh, my God. Black Clover is way entertaining to read for me, bro. I mean, I respect your opinion, but Black Clover is legit greatness. It's crazy. Like, yo, Yo, remember how it used to be that, like, I'm starting to see the tides change. It used to be that Black Clover was shitted on tremendously, and My Hero was regarded as perfect. And I loved My Hero, and I was like, yo, that's wild. But now it's more kind of on the opposite ever since that big My Hero Academia quirk all for one or one for all thingy. I love seeing that Black Clover has risen up in the rankings, baby. People rock with it. Yami scared is making me scared. I know. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna kind of hop to it because after Black Clover, we'll wrap this one up. This week, I just wanted to do straight 3 chapters because, again, next week, in case you're new or in case you missed it earlier, next week, Fornever Fridays, we're going to take a different approach. I'm going to try and have My Hero, One Piece, and Black Clover chapter reviews up first throughout the day. Probably like you'll get maybe My Hero at 12, Black Clover, or One Piece at like 3, and Black Clover at 5. Or something like that. And then you guys will get the Fornever Fridays live stream where we'll talk about like some topics and discussions, maybe like who had the best chapter this week, what's going on, just news articles, stuff like that. So wanted to change it up a little bit, let it be a little bit more inviting to people that are not caught up to all these manga, that don't want to get spoiled to the streams, because I don't want to just make it manga fans only type of thing. So next week, we're going to try that out. You guys still get the reviews. We get the streams going. Everyone wins. Yeah, I made mistakes before, and I'll talk about it in my review. I made mistakes with Patri and Lit. I caught that. I was catching up to My Hero, a bunch of other manga at the time. It just, everything starts going, woo! So yeah, let's jump to Black Clover, baby. Chapter 202. Now let's start off straight off from the first. Nero saying, stop making that stupid face. Hurry up and do it. Yo, Nero's personality, it's like we got another Yami in the Black Bulls, baby. I'm curious to see who the hell Nero is. Like, it's like we got another Yami. The way he was treating Finral, bro. Like, again, like he's his own personal portal. Like, yo, take me to the demon bone, bro. Like, what you doing, dog? Like, Nero, I love him already, bro. And in case y'all don't know, like, I made a comparison with people got so mad because I'm a Yu Yu Hakusho fan. Yu Yu Hakusho saved my life. Story for another time. Great story, but story for another time. Pooh from Yu Yu Hakusho, little blue thingy, like animal that was on the main character Yusuke Urameshi's head. It was like a bird, and he turns into an incredible monster thing, like a phoenix. And that's how I feel. This is going to go with Nero. Again, we're pulling inspiration. Black Clover is a combination of every shonen jump, every shonen jump trope, but done in a different manner or better. It's done right at this point. Cliche is done right all day. And man, it's just so much. I want to address something before we move forward. I've been making a couple of mistakes again, and this is obviously for people that are watching the video on the man version. I've been making a couple of stakes. Yo, I can't talk today. I've been making a couple of mistakes on the identity of Patri and Lit. Lit is, if I'm not mistaken, the people that are with Lit is Yami, Lit, and the Devil, if I'm not mistaken. I think those are the people that are there. Oh, and Charlotte. Those are the people on there. And then it's Patri, Asta, and Yuno on that side, if I'm not mistaken, with Nozel. So I was making a mistake. I was confusing Patri and Lit. So Lit right now is the one that had that battle. My mistake, honestly, it just felt a little unclear for me. And again, I was reading a lot of manga, catching up with like My Hero Academia and stuff. So that's why I was kind of confusing things. But now I understand what is going on here. Apologies. I'm human. I make mistakes. I know. I suck. But yeah. So now that we got that confusion out the way, again, Nero, baby. There's so much to talk about, but I'm going to talk about it because I'm trying to talk about it in chronological order for the most part of what happened. But in the beginning, Nero's personality and what he said about if we don't return these people, or if we don't do something, these people that were elves won't return to normal. That's very interesting. That's a nice little twist. And again, it shows why Nero needed to get involved. But I think it's also that he's feeling what's going on with this devil, because that dude is OP this chapter. Oh my God, let's go. The fight. Yami, Charlotte, and Lit versus the devil. And that's that Lit isn't even all the way he should be. If Lit was at his full power, I think the devil would get a run for his money, because it seems as though his black magic, it seems as though against other black magic his demonic magic against Yami's black magic, it doesn't work. So maybe it cancels each other out. And maybe if Lit had his full power, which I think Lit is going to get his full power, That's what's going to take. I think Lit is going to be the one that stops all of this. He's going to either destroy the devil, weaken the devil, and he's going to have to run away, and he's going to be the savior. And then, of course, he'll die, or him and Patri will, I don't know, he'll kill something's going to happen. Maybe Patri will do the right thing, have his own life taken, and who knows, maybe Lit will return to the kingdom at some given point later on. And I think they're going to keep Lit. I think either Lit or Patri is going to die, and they're going to keep the other one. Patri, bro, he's done too much. He's done too much wrong. Get him out of here. Lit, keep him around. Maybe one day he could make up for the mistakes William Vengeance made. That's just my stance on it. So moving forward, battle with Yami, Lit, and Charlotte. Devil. The regenerative things. Again, the devil, very, very OP in this chapter. It showcases that Asta and Yuno, if they're like on the bottom of the totem pole. We see that little thing where the power scales or whatever, Lit is just like right under the devil, and then everybody keeps going down or whatever. That shows a very big idea that, again, Asta and Yuno, they got to keep training. They're nowhere near top tier. If anything, this is showcasing like this whole end. It's speeding up some of the tropes that like a Naruto series did. Like Naruto took how many chapters? What was it? Like 300, 400 chapters to get to like Minato and stuff like that. This looks like it's doing whatever the Wizard King, the first Wizard King's relation to Asta and Yuno is. I think we're about to find out real soon. So we're cutting off like all of these extra builds to get to points like this. And I think this is just introducing that we are getting a Black Clover time skip. Maybe it's just going to take another couple months. I think we're getting a Black Clover time skip, maybe 10 chapters from now, once this is all wrapped up, because again, look how far they have to go. The devil is regenerating himself. He's just using word magic, and then he hadn't even used his grimoire yet. And this dude is still nasty. So how can you not like Black Clover, baby? Black Clover greatness, dog. Black Clover greatness, baby. He's not even using his grimoire, and like, bro, 3-on-1. Lit right there. Lit isn't complete, mind you. Lit right there. Yami and Charlotte. Yami incredibly strong. And somebody in the chat said it best. If Yami's scared, that makes me scared. Because like, yo, even Yami's like, holy shit, this dude is too much. He's using his words and he's kicking our ass. Imagine what he's going to do with this grimoire. And then he starts, I don't even know what type of the abstract art that Yuki Tabata uses. Oh my gosh. That is just like all these, it's from the plants. And oh my god, I can't even describe it, bro. The art, absolutely incredible, bro. Black Clover greatness, baby. Just It's pronounced as list. Is that how it is? Or are you just trolling? Thank you to all the new viewers. Starting next week again, Fornever Fridays will be more so topical, more inviting to you guys that aren't particularly caught up. Right now, we're talking about Black Clover chapter 202. Things is getting spicy, baby. So they also found the weakness in the devil, though. The weakness that, one, he's dodging all of, opposed to using his magic. It seems as though Yami's magic could hurt him in some fashion, and that's why he's dodging it more, so the black magic. So there's something there. There's a weakness there, but also the distance. The fact that he keeps his distance, that also shows that there's weaknesses. So the devil isn't completely, just like unstoppable. There are ways to get him, and that's probably how they're going to be able to take him down this time. But imagine if he's not even at his peak and there's people stronger or higher up on the chain than him. What do we do then? If Black Clover is setting up for a whole new thing, it seems as though either Black Clover is about to end or is starting like a whole big time skip, because all of the big questions, the demon's bones, the first Wizard King putting the gems inside of him, are all coming together already. If we see the first Wizard King, we find out that that's like Asta's father or brother or something. Maybe Yuki Tabata will make it the father. I bet he'll troll. Maybe Asta will say, "Are you my father?" He'll be like, "No, pipsqueak. I don't know. What are you talking about?" That'd be great. That'd be great. Black Clover would do some shit like that, to be honest with you. Took the gemstones out. Yeah, so let's talk about Nero's plan a bit, because this is really getting, like, honestly, Nero, even though, and again, that's Black Clover. It did it last week. It did it this week. Incredible fight this week. Better fight this week than last week. Yami and Charlotte and Lit working together. Better fight than last week, but still, the bird, baby, the bird. That was where the meat of this whole chapter was. Now, Nero uses uses his teleportation device, Finroll, gets to there. What is he putting the gems into the first Wizard King's stone for? What is about to happen? Mana starts leaking out of him, pouring out of him in a sense. What is about to happen? Is the first Wizard King about to be reborn for a bit? Maybe those gems will give him temporary relief from the stone. They were going to do that to the demon, but it somehow didn't work. But now they're putting in there. Who the hell is Nero? His personality, bro, that he is just like, he's shut up to funeral. Like, yo, he's telling like, I love Nero, bro. I don't know, bro. I need me a plushie of Nero. Okay, I need me a Nero plushie, so I can just put it right back here so y'all can see it in the videos because Nero is the ball, bro. Nero for the win. I'm just saying. A seal unknown to all has stood through time, and now that was what it said regarding the first Wizard King's stone, that there was a seal on him, a sense. So, what if he's reborn? And he actually stays there. Like, I'm curious what's going to happen. Will he turn back to stone? Is this going to bring him back? Or is he going to... It'd be crazy if the first Wizard King shows up. We find out if he has any relation at all, or barely get a hint at his relation to Asta and Yuno. Him and Liszt both die along with Patri in this. We could have 3 deaths. And honestly, Yugi Tabata would get away with it because they kind of... Well, Liszt doesn't really deserve it. Patri definitely deserves it. First Wizard King, it could be an excuse to get him away from the story. Maybe he turns back to stone or something. But the first Wizard King might be showing up, baby. I can't wait to see, yo. If Julius was badass, don't lie. Y'all love Julius. Don't lie. If Julius was badass, what is this guy gonna be? And who is he? So many questions, man. Maybe I'd be more interested, instead of him being the father, like a Minato Naruto moment, maybe he's the grandfather or great-grandfather, something like that. That'd be cool. I'd love a spinoff of that guy's tale, even though we know how it ends, but a prequel story of what happened in the elves giving I'd take an anime out of that. To be honest with you, that should be fire. So now we're just left with a couple of questions. Well, a lot of questions, honestly. Like, how the hell the devil's going to get taken down? I'm imagining it's going to have something to do with that first Wizard King, but is it telling that Nero knew that the only way to stop this demonic creature is to get the first Wizard King? Does that show how incredibly weak everyone in the kingdom is? That Nero felt like, nah, it's going to take this guy? That's a big, big question. And that's also going to lead into, again, what I feel we're going to get a Black Clover time skip and just so many different things. The devil. Oh, my gosh, bro. Black Clover. Honestly, this chapter, 8.5 out of 10. Incredible chapter, bro. 8.5 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10. I can't. It... Like, yo, last week, okay, I gave it the 9 because it was like, whoa, major plot twist. It wasn't a big, well, no, you know what? Fuck it. I ain't gonna lie. That's me just being biased, trying to be different. I'm still giving it. It's the 9 because the first Wizard King about to be reactivated is even bigger than the Nero reveal. Whatever's gonna happen is bigger than the Nero reveal. First Wizard King is Yuno's uncle. That's what you think? But yeah, curious what you guys think about all of this stuff. For starters, Black Clover. Who is Nero? What is Nero's role? Why did he go and take those gems, have Funeral take those gems out and put them in the first Wizard King? Is it because he's about to be reborn? Is the mana gonna just explode and come to Lit? Maybe Lit is going to become 100% and be able to take out the devil due to some connection with the first Wizard King? What is going on there? Also, I'm kind of curious what you guys think. Hold on 1 second. Let me just pull this up real quick. Also, once again, who the hell is Nero? He has the personality of like Yami, but who is Nero? What's going on there? That was something that I was kind of like, damn. Yo, this guy's personality is straight like Yami, but he's a little freaking bird. So really interesting there. What connection does he have, if any, to the first Wizard? Maybe he was the pet of the first Wizard King. That could be something crazy too, and he left him behind. Kind of like how, if you're reading My Hero Academia, and you know the thing that was left behind for Shigaraki, maybe Nero could have been the same thing. And the first Wizard King is now going to tell Nero, like, yo, you need to step it up and help, you know, whatever, help Yuno and Asta. Maybe. Either way, bro, I ain't gonna lie. Black Clover, absolute greatness. Love the chapter. Amazing shit. I can't wait for more. Next week is gonna be real spicy. Honestly, next week is probably, it could be a 10 out of 10 next week, depending on how it's done. Black Clover, it's bringing that heat. But I won't say that it's completely. My Hero's been solid. One Piece is leading towards something grander than ever. So we'll just see who has the best chapters in the next couple of weeks, because Black Clover's on fire. But once Black Clover slows down, I don't know if it's going to be able to keep up with the same thing because everybody's been building. Now they're about to destroy. Black Clover's kind of just been destroying. We're going to see what's up. But your overall thoughts and expectations for the next chapter. It's insane. Before I get off of here, because I wanted to just do the straight hour this week. Thank you to each and everybody that stopped by. I always appreciate each and every one of you. This stream was, again, a fun one. Again, one last time, starting next week, we will be doing Fornever Fridays on some topics and news articles and stuff like that. So expect a little bit of a change up. This we'll get the reviews just before the stream or maybe possibly even after, but more than likely, it'll be 12 o'clock, probably 12 o'clock My Hero, 2 o'clock One Piece, 4:30 my Black Clover, something like that. So we'll be doing it that way, and then we'll have the stream at 7 Fornever Fridays. That way I could put more time into the reviews and kind of, it's hard to, honestly, there's a lot of work done for me to set up to do these streams because I got to take all of these notes. If I could just kind of put some topics out and we could just have some fun, it'd probably be a little bit of a more enjoyable stream for myself and maybe even for you guys, and more inviting as well for people. So yeah, but thanks again for everybody that donated. Thank you for everybody that stopped by the stream. I really appreciate you guys. I'm gonna head off here now. That's all I have for this one, though. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit the bell to get all notifications. YouTube been wilding lately. Y'all already know what it is. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links, of course, in the description below. I'm Fornever World. And as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule. Anime and manga for life, boy. Bow. Have an awesome day. Can't forget the music, though. Peace, guys. I'm going to head on out. Have an awesome one.